Before the football season, there was no doubt the Gators would be challenged with one of the toughest schedules in the nation. With that schedule not getting any easier the rest of the way through, Gators head coach Billy Napier states that his team believes they can win in any game they come across.
You play toe-to-toe with some of the better teams, you start to believe, right? So for the first time since I've been the head coach here, we showed up, we believe we can beat that team. And I think ultimately belief's probably the most powerful and the final value relative to what we teach. You got to have integrity, you got to be together, you got to have discipline, you got to have effort and toughness. If you do all those things consistently, the product starts to look the way it should look, and there's a level of belief that comes with that.
The Gators next take on the Texas Longhorns this Saturday at 12. It's 81 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Attention.
They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
What time is it? Showtime, prime time.
It's XL Prime Time. Featuring Joe C.
Why in the world am I sitting back and being quiet about this?
Matt Hayes.
Oh, my God, this is ridiculous.
And Leon Searcy.
If you can't hang with the big dogs, stay on the porch.
How you like me now?
Well, it so happens we are on the porch right now. I do have one big dog with me, but we are on the porch celebrating what has been a great day here at the Golf Club of Southampton with the St. Joe's Charity Golf Tournament, and we'll be telling you all about that as we go along. But, yeah, big dogs not present other than Big Searcy, and it's a Lick Your Wound Monday, and it could be for Florida fans, Florida State fans. It was almost for Miami fans. Let's be real, Leon, for a while.
Steady hand, bro. Steady hand the whole time.
Oh, he never panicked. Even though it was 28-17 at one point. And then they erupted and took care of business in beating back Manny Diaz down in South Florida. But Mondays, a Mocama Beer Company Monday on XL Primetime. They are usually reserved to you. Just really exhausting every possibility on how the hell you're going to fix your Jacksonville Jaguars, because we are back in an HTH situation. Leon, how did that happen? How does a football team start so slow yet make it so interesting in the end? They've done that consecutive weeks.
It's inexcusable, to be quite honest with you. Come out in that game, a big game of that magnitude on the road, and this team back-to-back weeks, have started slow. You're talking about, I saw the stat that was on TV, they had more turnovers than first downs in the game. And then middle of the third quarter, here's a great idea. You start running a little hurry up, all right, to get the offense going. Where was that at the beginning of the first quarter? Why we had to wait to the third quarter to start playing? We run a little hurry up, not 2 minutes, but a little hurry up. We got a little rhythm, went down there and scored a touchdown. I don't understand it, man. It's frustrating as someone that's vested, who cares about the Jaguars, who played for the Jaguars, who took pride in wearing that uniform. Is so frustrating to me as a player watching this team just be so lethargic and lackadaisical when the start of the game is supposed to be the most important and most exciting part of the game.
Right.
And this team falls flat. Not one, but 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, honestly, it's a mystery to me. You guys, I'm sure, have a lot of solutions. You probably have been listening to 1010XL when Jeff just got rolling in the 6 o'clock hour and brought the hammer, and then all the way through the rest of the day. But if you are out and about, or if you're hanging out on the laptop streaming us, or whatever you're doing, you can hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010. I asked on X yesterday 5 words to describe another 5-point loss. This team, in 7 losses, Leon, has lost 5 of them by 5 points or less. So they are in football games, and you might be able to point to a play here or a play there that might have led to a win, but I can point to countless plays that led to the loss.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate that this team is finding new ways to lose ball games, close games. I mean, if this team could just start fast, finish strong, not be afraid of adversity, answer the bell when they get punched in the mouth, this team would not be sitting where it is right now.
Yeah.
So they're their own worst enemy. They're their own worst. They play a lot. They play in the beginning. They play uninspired football for the first quarter or two. Uninspired. Now that defense, the defense, don't get me wrong, they gave up 237 yards rushing for Saquon Barkley. But at the beginning of the game, That defense fought his behind off.
Yeah,
they played well.
Yeah, I like to give him credit, too. And Ryan Nielsen, as much as we've all taken shots, and I'll just repeat myself, I'll raise my right hand. I thought in the offseason that this guy coming in had me fired up. I think a lot of fans following the Jaguars were hoping that he would come in and be that difference defensively, but he's been a difference defensively in the worst of ways. I mean, this team had become a laughingstock near or at the bottom of a lot of defensive stats coming into this game. But I will give him credit. And over the last several weeks, he's made changes. We make fun of his hockey shifts, and they're still to be made fun of. But he's getting good play, and I thought it was a decent game plan. But in the end, you can't get away from the fact that Saquon Barkley went for basically 200 yards from scrimmage. Jalen Hurts was able to take off and improvise when those two are hard stars to defend. I get that, but by and large, that defense, for the most part, kept this team in the football game.
We don't have the personnel. We don't have the horses up front, especially interiorly. We don't have it. I mean, there was an Eric Armstead sighting every now and then. There was a Ledbetter sighting every now and then.
Ledbetter got in the backfield.
You got in the backfield, yeah, absolutely. But, the stars of the team, especially in the front seven, are Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen. Josh Allen, we got on him last week for his underperformance last week, but he got after it pretty good. 2 sacks, pressures, running down plays from the backside, all that kind of stuff. But we just don't have the personnel, to be quite honest with you.
It drives you crazy. Injuries definitely on top of already maybe being short in certain areas because of the way Trent Baalke built this roster. But then you add in another layer of guys going down, and obviously Christian Kirk going down, Brian Thomas dealing with an injury, Gabe Davis out. Another week of a second-round draft pick in Mason Smith being inactive, a healthy scratch for this football team. That is a big problem right now.
That's an indictment. That's an indictment on him.
Yeah.
This late in the season, where you're 2-7 and you can't hit the field.
And you got Ledbetter, like you said, making plays interiorly.
I mean, he can't even make the rotation.
Yeah.
I mean, at this particular, I'm not going to call the kid a bust because he's still a rookie, but it don't look good that you spent a second-round pick on this kid.
Right.
Anticipating that he was going to be playing, maybe not starting, but maybe in the rotation.
Yeah.
There's something going on over there.
It really is.
Either he's not locked in mentally, he's not locked in physically. Oh, he's missing me. I'm only speculating. But when you got a second-round pick as big as he is, you're talking about a 6'6", 300-something-pound defensive tackle who can't get in the rotation when, what's-his-name, Jefferson made a play in the game.
Yeah.
And he's the 4th-round pick.
Yeah, exactly. You're talking 2 guys that came from LSU, 2nd round, 4th round, interior defensive lineman. Jordan Jefferson is more of a nose guy. He's a bigger human being, nailed to the ground a little bit more compared to Mason Smith. Mason Smith more upright, but there's no getting away from the fact that this guy has not been instrumental in any way, shape, or form in terms of rotation on that defensive line. And this, and correct me if I'm wrong, Leon, by the way, we're missing Matt Hayes today with USA Today Sports. He's working on a college story, so he'll be back tomorrow. And Matt would be one of the first ones to point this out as well, is that this team, Trent Baalke, decides to go in the 2nd and 4th round interiorly on the defensive line, which I was all for. I just wasn't for that guy at that moment. And for him, as the season goes along, shouldn't that guy be making more of an impact as opposed to less of an impact?
Absolutely. That's the difference between one organization and another. The Philadelphia Eagles, you know who they go and draft? They go Georgia. Bulldogs,
exactly.
Okay? Jordan Davis and Jalen Jalen Carter. And then Nakobe Dean gets the interception at the I mean, that's just the difference. Yeah. But we go and draft 2 kids who was on probably the worst defense and probably in SEC history, as many yards as they gave up. They gave up more yards than Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
A year before. So I just showed you the 2 differences in the franchises.
Yeah, it was record-setting. It was that atrocious. It really was. And yet that's where Trent Baalke decided to, hey, we need more players from the SEC. So we went to the SEC's worst defense and got him.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm all for Jordan Jefferson if he can blossom into a decent player. I would like to know what the H is going on with Mason Smith. I'm the one who loved on him and said he's so big he's got 2 A's in his name. And I was looking forward to seeing what he could do. And there were plenty of people glossing on him in the preseason, and I just didn't see him I just didn't see it. And so here we are. Deep into the season, November, the calendar has turned to November, and this guy is a healthy scratch back-to-back games. And so you got all sorts of situations that you can point to problems-wise with this football team. Travis Etienne, it wasn't the best of passes by Trevor. Okay, you have got to have more touch, more feel in that situation. But Etienne did cough up the football, so he turned it over. That's one of the picks. Trevor, of course, at the end of the game, throws the pick. It was, as I said in my game day look back with Bud Light, which you can find on social from earlier today. It was easier for the defender to catch that ball than it was for De'Ernest Johnson. And where are you at that late in a game when you will your team back into a situation where you can tie the game, you can put pressure on the home team? He had already taken off and run for a score. There was time left on the clock, and then he makes that throw.
There was no pressure. I mean, there was no real. I mean, Walker Little gave up some pressure, a little bit leaking on the inside. I mean, on the outside for a little bit. But listen, you can't get paid $55 million a year and make that throw. You can't do it. You can't make that throw. I mean, you can't throw jump balls to third string running backs. Now, Evan Ingram last week, he climbs the ladder, Chris. Those type of throws that you make, on guys that are bona fide receivers. I mean, that wheel route. I mean, you either throw that ball outside, you either throw it out of bounds, or you throw a back shoulder fade on it.
Yeah.
You can't have that ball. He floated it.
Yeah, exactly.
He had no reason to float because he didn't have any pressure.
Yeah, and so that's the thing. And look, there are a lot of Duval out there that are saying, get off Trevor's back, it ain't him. There's a lot out there that are saying Trevor's got to make that play. And you may be listening to us and you fall right in the middle. You don't want to 100% blame him, but you also don't want to let him off the hook 100% because he shares in this. All these guys share in this. They have to make plays to win football games. But here you are, 5 losses, 5 points or less. The other 2 were blowouts. We know how they went down with the Buffalo Bills just roasting them on Monday night. With the Chicago Bears basically doubling them up in England. And so now you come out of this game, and I could not believe at the half, Doug Peterson basically said, we got to figure out a way to make plays. Well, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. And I think a lot of defenses seemingly have figured out this offense a little bit more than maybe he is willing to admit or press or any of the offensive coaches are willing to admit.
Well, his frustrating part for me, Joe, is this. Having played the game or whatever, it's like everybody's looking around for who's going to make the play. No, you are the guy. You're the playmaker.
Yeah.
Whoever it may be, offense or defense, make a play. Do something to help turn this season around. Everybody's looking for that guy to make that play. If you're a playmaker, go make plays.
Yeah.
That's everybody on this team. You're responsible. There's absolutely no reason for us to be starting as slow as we're starting if you're out there to make plays.
Yeah.
If you're out there to make plays.
It is, honestly, it is inexcusable. And we can go down the line and we can take a look at scores across the National Football League and point out maybe other teams that are either slow starters or have a difficult time getting in the end zone. Well, they're in the suck pile too, because that's where Tennessee is at right now. That's where New England's at right now. You can go down the line with some of the other ones that haven't been able to get in the end zone. This one cracks me up. This is the trivia question that I gave you guys last week. This was the first week the Philadelphia Eagles scored in the first quarter.
On us.
On the Jags.
We're the get-right team. You know that. You know that. Anytime, listen, whatever you're ailing with, you play us, you get right.
Yeah, man, you got the bug. Come get a shot from Duval. We will fix you. That's for sure. So, Saquon now has, quote, the play of the year.
He does.
With the B button backwards flip.
That was the cheat code, bro. When you played PlayStation, you had the cheat code, the XX0. Oh, man, come on. That's ridiculous.
And you know what I thought of as soon as it happened? I thought of the whirly bird. It was a B-button whirly bird because he embarrassed Jari and Jones.
And I knew as soon as I saw that yesterday, I said, you know what? We don't make the national media until times we're embarrassed.
Yeah.
And when I turned on the TV this morning, everybody had it playing against us.
Oh, my gosh. So let's set this up because this is interesting that you bring this up because I wanted to chime in on this as well. Most of the national media, even some of the Philadelphia media that I checked in with this morning, they're all over Nick Sirianni for making decisions to go for 2 when he didn't have to. Why not kick a field goal when you needed it? Why make these unnecessary decisions? Anyway, they were getting on him and saying, if not for Trevor Lawrence and a poor throw at the end of the football game, they would have lost that.
Trevor bailed him out. Absolutely bailed him out. Some of the decisions that he was making I think those decisions, the 2-point conversions and the 4th downs, he was 0 for 5, bro.
It's incredible.
0 for 5.
That's trying to gift you a game.
Yes. Listen, he was talking about the halftime. We was going to halftime. He was saying, well, I'm going to stay aggressive. I think it was when they came back from half. I'm going to say that's borderline reckless.
Yeah.
Absolutely borderline. And if Trevor doesn't throw that interception, he is on the hot seat. I'm not saying he's going to lose his job, but they'll be all over him.
They're ready to pounce on him anyway.
Anyway, yes.
And so this is the thing, is that you're right. The Jacksonville was on the national media radar this morning because it was this team that couldn't get it done against that coach with those decisions that he made. And so it's almost like, okay, we have to bring Jacksonville up because they blew it against this guy. This guy had an opportunity to easily close them out way earlier than he did. He made it too close, yada, yada, yada. You got the whole NFC East up for grabs. The Washington Commanders with a retread in Dan Quinn, a 2nd pick overall in Jaden Daniels.
How's that working out for him?
Oh, my gosh.
7-2.
They are balling right now. And you got Dallas that is just flaming out.
They're reeling, yeah.
And the Eagles are hot right now. They have now won, 4 in a row. Jalen has not turned the ball over in the last 4 games. I want to say that's the longest stretch in his NFL career where he's not turned the ball over. So there's all sorts of things to get into. So you guys hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. We are streaming on YouTube. You can see the back patio here at the beautiful Golf Club of Southampton. It is the SJA Scholarship Fundraiser. We appreciate my man Todd De Clemente. He's a diehard 1010 XLer, and we're happy to be out here as a proud alumnus of St. Joe's. So we will stay on your Jags. We got to get to the cocktail party on Saturday and all those other big ball games. Clemson goes down.
Iowa State goes down. Kansas State goes down.
Texas A&M goes down. So we're going to get into all those games coming up. It is XL Primetime Mocama Beer Company Monday. You'll find them up in beautiful Fernandina Beach on South 8th Street and in Wildlife. That's 2 Nassau locations or on the shelves at ABC and Total. Definitely check out Mocama.
Sometimes winning and losing comes down to one play. There's only one performance-painting, high-performance play of the game on 1010XL.
Looking for a new vehicle? Take a look at Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville. Now's the time to save big. Choose from more than 250 new and over 1,000 used and certified pre-owned vehicles on the lot, or shop anytime at JenkinsHyundaiofJacksonville.com. Hyundai has one of the top warranties in the business. Lifetime, powertrain, and 5-year bumper-to-bumper warranty, plus 3 years free maintenance on a new vehicle. Give them the chance to earn your business today on Atlantic Boulevard or at JenkinsHyundaiofJacksonville.com.
Hey 1010XL family, Dr. Chris Cott PT here with Premier Physical Therapy of Jacksonville. Are aches and pains holding you back from doing activities you love? Pickleball, golf, or just day-to-day living? Are your kids struggling with injuries and need to get back in the game? My team of experts are ready to serve you at 3 locations, Ponte Vedra, San Pablo, and Phillips Highway. Visit PremierPTJacks.com or call today at 904-996-6922, 904-996-6922, PremierPTJacks.com, where your journey to wellness begins.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL.
Injured in an accident? Have mounting medical bills? Can't work? Don't worry. Zach's got your back. I'm Zach Von Rowan of Von Rowan Law. I will fight for the compensation that you deserve. Set up your free consultation at zachsgotyourback.com.
Mia here for my bookie. Hope everyone had a profitable weekend betting. But you know what tonight is? Monday Night Football. No Chris Godwin, no Mike Evans. Tom Brady's not walking through that door. But the Tampa Bay Bucks still have to travel to play a 2-time defending world champion Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are favored by 8.5 points with the over-under game total around 45.5. Cade Otton, the tight end, was the de facto #1 receiving target last week. The Chiefs generally are pretty weak at defending tight ends. Right now, you can bet Cade Otton to score 1 or more touchdowns, paying plus 210. That means if you bet 100 and he scores, you get paid $220. MyBookie has the best sign-up bonus in the industry for Florida bettors. Our listeners can sign up and use promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your very first deposit up to $1,000. That's promo code 1010XL to claim your double deposit bonus for Monday Night Football. Bet anywhere, anytime, and make your season a winning season with MyBookie.
This is Tony Baselli, Pro Football Hall of Famer. I was known for protecting our quarterback. These days, I'm extending that protection to a different arena, your home. I have partnered with Heritage Roofing of North Florida, your premier local roofers with over 25 years of experience. Heritage is your go-to roofer for hurricane preparation, with same-day inspections and estimates. They also work with all insurance companies. Let Heritage Roofing of North Florida safeguard your home and family. Visit heritagenfl.com for your free estimate today.
State license CCC 1335410.
He used to cover the Jags. Now he's a CBS Sports senior NFL writer.
Well, I believe he's got everybody's attention.
He's Pete Prisco. Friday afternoons on The Frangie Show. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles on 1010XL.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Hair4me.com.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
Are you an experienced plumber or welder with MedGas certification and you're tired of being undervalued? It's time to make the move to Local 234 plumbers, pipe fitters, and HVAC technicians. With the best pay in the business, you'll earn $36.50 an hour. With benefits, that's almost $50. It's not just a job, it's a career that values you. Join the team that's got your back. Local 234, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit UA234.com to send your resume today.
Equal opportunity employer.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 5-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now graduate making over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or no student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by November 7th.
This is Greg Huntington, a.k.a. The Mangler. I'm on the winning team at Waste Management. If your business needs sustainable environmental services for waste removal and recycling collection, then you can count on the industry leader of WM to deliver results. Go to WM.com/Duval.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So tomorrow, the trade deadline, 4 o'clock Eastern, is when it's all going to go down, and we will find out whether or not there are a handful of teams that are willing to make those big, bold moves. This is one that may not move the meter too much, but it just basically is saying that there is action out there. The Broncos trading outside linebacker Baron Browning to the Cardinals. That, according to Jordan Schultz, who is one of those guys that definitely pays attention to what's going on with these types of days. And the next 48 hours will be pretty dang busy seeing who's going to make a move and who made themselves better. The other one was, it came out earlier, but the hamstring injury for Dak Prescott, worse than initially feared, expected to miss multiple weeks, that according to Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero. Dak...
You know what that means, right?
Yeah.
The tanking begins.
How about if you translate that for me?
They tanking. Dak is not coming back anytime soon, trust me.
Yeah.
That hamstring's going to linger.
And
he's going to have cookies with that milk.
Is it because he's playing like A that all of a sudden the ham is starting to hurt a little bit more?
Hey, man, can't run the ball, can't protect them. He's scrambling around. They're losing.
Oh,
you heard him
terrible.
on the sideline. Mm-hmm. You saw this little whisper what he said. He said, "We effing suck."
Yeah. And by the way, Dak is feeling some more of the pressure than, say, what a Trevor's feeling here, because he's the highest paid cat. He redid the deal, and then it's America's team, so they expect so much from them all the time, but they are under a great deal of scrutiny. And I couldn't help but laugh when you pair up what you just described as Dak saying on the sidelines, and then Jerry Jones after the game saying, "We're going to work that trade and see if we can find a way."
Well, he's going to work it for what? What are they going to do?
Yeah.
There's nobody out there that can rectify what's going on in Dallas.
Right.
They can't run the ball. They can't stop the run. They got one weapon at receiver, which is CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
Jake
Ferguson at tight end.
Yeah, but I mean, it's almost unfixable. The fact they're 3-5, they're reeling.
Yeah.
They're reeling right now.
And so the end is near for maybe a couple of Super Bowl past winning coaches. The guy who had the statue outside of the link here, Mike McCarthy, who won up in Green Bay. Dennis Allen got fired today in New Orleans. So there are definitely guys that are starting to feel that heat.
The only commodity that they really have, and they'd be crazy to do, Michael Parsons is the only commodity they have to trade
exactly.
capital.
And he's been hurt, too.
He's been hurt, yes.
And so, I don't know exactly what they're going to do. They're not going to deal anybody. They're going to try and go get somebody. At least that's what Jerry wants to believe. And Jerry is now dangerously entering a world where he wants it so bad, but he knows that this thing is just unraveling, and there's nothing he can do about it.
Nothing.
A helpless feeling, that's for sure. So I asked yesterday 5 words to describe another 5-point loss. 5 losses for this football team, 5 points or less. Went off the roller coaster, or want off the roller coaster, please, says Dan. Trevor is definitely not generational, and that was certainly a very popular theme for a lot of them that shows their 5 words. Trevor isn't worth the money. Trevor does it again. Chad needs to grow a pair and clean house. So that may have been more than 5 words, but whatever.
I like that one.
Yeah, over it and also numb. Fire Taylor into the sun. And there are so many, like we said, so many guys that you can point to. Even Ryan Nielsen kind of pulled himself off of the deck a little bit because his defense did make a decent amount of plays. They were able to force Jalen Hurts and company into some 3-and-outs, force them into some field goals, basically control them and keep the points in the teens midway through, into the third quarter. It was a 16-0 ball game at the half. We're talking 2 scores at the half. So defensively, they did a decent job. Just offensively, they cannot get anything going whatsoever. And it just seems like it's just more and more of an unacceptable or tenable situation. How do you keep it together in that locker room when you keep going through this?
See, that's what I was talking about in the 5th quarter, is that the dissension in the locker room when one side of the ball is giving effort and the other side of the ball is taking its time,
right,
and walking into the party, which is called football. So you hope. But there's conversations that are being had in the locker room. Trust me, I've been in locker rooms where I've been on one side of the fence or the other side of the fence, whether I've been a Steelers or a Jaguars, and the defense has a tendency to mouth off. The offensive guys don't talk as much as defensive guys, especially if they're playing well. Right. And I had to be in the locker room with a Steelers team who our defense is always good, and our offense sputtered every now and then. You would hear their mouths.
Yeah,
they would tell you. They would say, "Hey, listen, y'all ain't cutting it."
But is this a situation where neither one can really chirp?
Yeah, it is a situation where neither one can either chirp. But if you're on the defensive side, listen, if you're a defensive coach, all you can do is say, "Hey, listen, we're going to control what we can control on our side of the ball," and then you're hoping that the offense comes along. But 2 weeks in a row, this offense has gone 2 quarters and a half with one first down. Yeah. That's inexcusable.
Yeah, and they have scored in the 20s both times, but there have been so many times where they haven't even been able to get out of the teens.
Yes.
And in this case, it was a 30-27 game last week, a 5-point loss this week. And how in the world they cannot get it going? And this may be Doug Peterson and Press Taylor sitting down. You know about the, quote, 15 plays that they want to run that are scripted in the beginning of a ball game. How in the world? It takes them into the second quarter to get 15 full plays off because they keep having to either a 3-and-out or a 4-play series than punting. It's ridiculous.
Well, it's your job as a coach, as a coordinator, quarterback's coach, whoever it is, to put your players in the best situation. If Trevor is more fluent and more efficient with hurry up, then start the game like that.
Yeah.
Don't have script. Every time, the last 2 weeks, every time they've been scripted, they've had success. We've got 3-and-out, 3-and-out, 3-and-out. So, and you wait till the middle of the third quarter to get it going.
Yeah, exactly.
So why don't you use that approach at the start of the game? Let Trevor get a little rhythm, just that kind of stuff, so he can get into the ball game, because he's not getting the guys touches. We're not running the ball effectively. So play a little hurry up.
All right, a few more off the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Same old sorry but Jags, using 5 words to describe another 5-point loss. Ryan Nielsen not off hot seat. Same old Jags. New ways, losing every game. My 5 words, it was always the Jags. And it's funny how that saying has flipped quite a bit, because that's basically where they are. So it really does stink right now. I feel for all of Duval. I say it all the time. You guys have put as much energy, hope, belief, dollars, you name it, passion into this franchise, and you're not getting back what you are deserved. If it was look, this is a football team that won more than they lost the last 2 years. This is a football team that went out and signed some guys in free agency and did a decent job in the draft, got what looks like a budding star in Brian Thomas. When was the first time you saw Brian Thomas involved in the game plan yesterday? It was in the second quarter. It was one of those little bubble screens or a little jet. It was a bubble screen. Anyway, you can't have that.
He had 4 targets.
Yeah.
4 targets the whole game.
Yeah. You especially with Christian Kirk gone and Gabe Davis out.
But you know what? You know who I blame for those 4 targets? Him. You know why I blame him? Because we say he's the number one. He's number one, and I know his demeanor is soft smoking, doesn't say a lot of stuff. But at some particular point, you got to get tired of losing. And you got to go to the coaching staff. You got to go to Trevor and say, get me the damn ball.
Yeah.
All right.
Let me make a play.
Let me make a play. And if his demeanor isn't like that, then he ain't the one. You know how he was in the movie The Matrix, and they found out he was the one? We need to know if this kid's the one.
Yes.
Yes. And if you get tired of losing, at some particular point, you got to go to Trevor or you got to go to press or whoever and say, hey, coach, give me the ball. Because I guarantee you this, in that game, Devontae Smith, when he was up against Darby on that play back in the end zone, I bet he said, hey, coach, this guy can't cover me. Right. I'm going to give him a double move. We can go on. Yeah. Touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, at some particular point, you just got to tell the coaches, man, get me the ball.
You already had the Whirlybird meets Madden with Saquon Barkley with the reverse jump. I think I may go with that one. Whirlybird meets Madden when he was spinning and jumping backwards over Jarian Jones. And then you had Devonta Smith. That was a hell of a catch. In the back of the end zone.
The toe touch was beautiful.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yes.
Off the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, Charles says, got a call last night from my best Army bud praising the Jags for, get this, making the Eagles win more exciting. He says, I quoted Big Searcy, said, there ain't any merit badges for losing. And I honestly, you cannot feel good about losing this way.
No. Because this is a bottom line business. The bottom line is wins and losses and ties. All right. You don't get any nice tries are in the game.
Yeah.
All right. There's no category for nice try. Because if it were, we'd be 6-2 right now.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
All right. Because we're talking about us losing games by 5. The bottom line is we've lost those games.
Yeah.
We haven't found a way to win those games.
Can't get away from it. And you had a schedule that should have delivered you more dubs. It really, really should have. Based on the way this season has fallen, you look back and you do it. Really, they become the Jacksonville ifs again because the what ifs are everywhere, and it doesn't matter. They all added up to L's. But we used to joke when they suck so bad, just get me to the fourth quarter, get me to where they cut off the beer sales. That was always my joke. And now I want more. Every fan out there wants more, and I'm invested emotionally because I want this city to shine. I want this team to succeed. I want these fans to be happy, and it's unbelievable. unbelievable what they have delivered on the field this year. And it could be coaching, it could be player passion, it could be player development, it could be the actual players that are selected. You name it. It could be front office down, on and on and on. But you guys can definitely jump in 641-1010. Let us know what you're thinking. We got to get to some college ball. As we mentioned, some bigs going down and basically maybe playing their way out of the college football playoff. And we'll get back to the cocktail party with DJ Lagway going down for the Gators. And then Mr. Yale came in and at the very least made it interesting for a while before they ended up losing to the Dogs.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety, there is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
Post Game Monday on 1010XL is brought to you by Dandy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff.
Joe C. for Roland Reese Plumbing, and I think I tell you quite often whenever I'm bragging or hyping on businesses that I work with that I love knowing that they're a part of the community as well. Well, Roland comes out and plays at the Golf Club of Southampton. That's how much of a First Coast guy he is. He's certainly putting together a great business plan every single day, making sure that you are getting service when you need it. But he's also out and about having a good time, and he enjoys his rounds here at the Golf Club of Southampton. Check out Roland Reese Plumbing. You can log on plumbingjacksonville.com 24/7. We're talking about emergency service and the qualified technicians to get it done. When you got a leak and can't wait a week, Roland Reese Plumbing.
Greenlaw Group is for the insured. If you think you have roof damage, call 904-302-7055 today, and they will schedule you a free roof inspection. Trust their law firm to help you fight your insurance when you need it. These storms can cause damage you may not even see yet. Call Greenlaw Group 302-7055. There's no cost to retain their law firm and no cost to have your roof inspected. They only get paid if you win. Greenlaw Group, for the insured.
What if you could be debt-free by this January? Get rid of all that high-interest debt, pay off all your credit cards, consolidate everything into one lower payment. Hey, it's Prosper here, and if you're ready to stop stressing over bills, you need to call Loan Pronto right now. With rates at their lowest in 2 years, this is the perfect chance to use your home's equity and save big going into the new year. Loan Pronto's got rates with APRs in the low 5s, and they're getting homeowners hundreds of thousands out of their home's equity. Homeowners who do this save on average $850 a month. Loan Pronto offers a ton of options, including total refis, express equity lines of credit. So call now, get a rate quote in just minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call today. You won't make a house payment till 2025. 904-999-1508. That's loanpronto.com or 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Rotator cuff injuries are common among athletes and those who have physically demanding careers. Don't let this injury keep you away from the sport you love. Dr. George Bari here, and the first thing you need to do with a serious shoulder injury is to diagnose where the damage is and how significant it is. Rotator cuff tears are either acute tears sustained during an injury or accident, or degenerative tears. If you're interested in learning more about rotator cuff repair and how our expert team of orthopedic surgeons can help you, call Bari Orthopedics today or visit bariorthopedics.com.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On November 4th, 2001, the Arizona Diamondbacks beat the New York Yankees to secure their first World Series title, winning 3-2 in Game 7.
Hey, Jacksonville Koozies, it's me, Soccer Sam, for Salvatore's Pizza. Rochester, New York's favorite pizza is now open in Jacksonville, Florida, Tapestry Park at the Loft Hotel Plaza. Daily $10 deals, dine in with beer and wine, and delivery at salvatores.com. The famous Formoso family brings Salvatore's Pizza, Rochester's favorite pizza, including our 32-piece sheet pizza for your next event. Do it with me, baby. Salvatores.com.
Jags fans, looking for the perfect activity around the holidays? We've got you covered with the inaugural Teal Trot 5K. The race takes place outside Everbank Stadium, Saturday, December 21st. We can't wait to see you there. Your registration includes the 5K, a throwback Jaguars headband, and a ticket to the December 29th game against the Titans. Visit jaguars.com/teal trot to sign up today.
Budweiser reminds us to drink wiser, like hydrating between beers. It keeps the fun going longer, and it's a commitment to responsibility. Remember, good times are ahead, so no need to overdo it. Know when to say when, and always designate a driver.
Find your why with membership at the First Coast YMCA. The Y has something for everyone at any age. Come try free access to your local Y every Wellness Wednesday this month. Check out our fitness classes, swimming, pickleball, youth sports, and so much more for free every Wednesday in October. Plus, we'll waive the join fee when you become a member this month. Get active, be social, live healthier, and discover all the benefits of YMCA membership at your local Y or visit fcymca.org.
Are you ready to upgrade your home? Experience the winning combination of style and performance with Renewal by Andersen. Energy-efficient, custom-built replacement windows and doors. Right now, save 20% on your entire project. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. This offer expires November 30th and restrictions apply. Renewal by Andersen, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com for details.
License number CGC 1527613.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
In Doug Peterson's post-game press conference, he was asked once again about the Jaguars and their slow starts. As we now sit at the halfway point of the NFL season, the question is beginning to get repetitive for both the reporters asking and Doug answering. Here was Doug's answer to another slow start.
You know, I'm not one to kind of settle on that. I'm going to keep working. I'm going to keep challenging players, and we have to get better. So I'm not going to settle on the fact that it is what it is, obviously, but we're gonna roll up our sleeves and go to work and try to keep it moving and try to fix it.
The Eagles got out to a 22-0 lead before the Jaguars even began their comeback. I'm Max Fink with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, the San Francisco 49ers have been waiting for this and hoping that it is a clean and green sign for Christian McCaffrey. But he is practicing today for the first time since being put on IR with his Achilles injury. That from Tom Pelissero. On track to play this week. And they've been hanging on. They really have. The NFC West, when you take a look at it, there's nothing really to write home about in terms of one team running away with it. The Rams came back in overtime and beat Seattle yesterday. Arizona and Chicago back and forth. And the Cardinals are definitely trying to stitch together a little bit of a run. And so San Francisco's right now, I want to say, they're a 4-loss team, and they're still at the top of the heap right now. So getting him back is definitely hugely important, that's for sure. I don't know whether or not you can 100% count on him to do everything that he did before, Leon, because, he was all of that and a bag of chips for a long, long time. He's probably going to take it a little slow.
Yeah, listen, once you get back and they give you the place where you can practice, more than likely you've got to protect the player from himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're excited, there's a lot of enthusiasm. You feel that the team has struggled. You feel that your presence can help the team. So I'm sure that the trainers are saying, they probably got him on a regimen or a pitch count, how many plays he's going to get in practice.
Right. All right, we are hanging out here in the beautiful back patio area of the Golf Club of Southampton. We hope to talk to the quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson, a little bit later on. You can check us out on YouTube and definitely come on by the Golf Club of Southampton anytime you want to enjoy a great round of golf. We're out here with the St. Joe's Academy Scholarship Fundraiser. We've had a great time today. They definitely do it right, and they're the oldest Catholic high school in the state of Florida. And let me tell you something. I've been known to...
I was going to ask you, did you get the ruler?
Oh, my gosh, yeah. I got the ruler. I always like to tell the story.
Yeah, you got the paddle, huh?
Yeah. Sister Rose Edwards, Sister Louis Gonzaga, Sister Rose Carmel. I can go down the line with all the sisters, and most of them were betting against me to make it through St. Joe because I was just such a troublemaker. And Sister Renee cornered me in my freshman year and said, the only reason you're here is because of your brother. He showed so much promise, we were willing to take a chance on you.
Wow.
I mean, they were roughing me up right from the beginning. But it's good to be able to go back and have those fond memories and many good ones at St. Joe's, that's for sure. All right, so 641-1010. We've been talking Jags. We need to get some college ball. I did appreciate one texter that says, man, was up in New York City for my wife's marathon. We found a Jags fan base Irish pub to watch the game. Great time in the city, great marathon. Thought we were going to compete the perfect New York City visit with a win. Anyway, they weren't able to do that, but I'm glad they were up there having a good time. They found some other Jags up in beautiful New York City. So let's get to the cocktail party and everything that did take place Saturday. We'll hit on a few of the other college ones, probably hit it hard and heavy tomorrow with Matty when he's back. But Florida, the thing that sucks more than anything else is that you had a turf injury. And DJ Lagway was making plays. They certainly had put a good defensive game plan together. They had forced Carson Beck into a couple of bad mistakes. He ended up throwing the football to the Gators defense. Mr. Bates playing his tail off on the defensive side of the ball, making those plays. And pressure-wise, they were able to get to him. They were getting past that offensive front, Leon. They were making it real interesting.
Well, listen, bro, the bottom line is y'all had them on the ropes. That's the first time in a long time since I saw y'all play the Bulldogs where they didn't have an answer for y'all, especially defensively. Y'all were bringing it. Carson Beck had thrown 2 interceptions at that particular time. The defense was stopping them run. They were defending well. Lagway, that dime he threw in the end zone, that dime over the shoulder of the defender. Yeah, that was a beautiful thing.
And Mizell with a great catch. And honestly, there were a handful of guys. And by the way, this was without Montrell Johnson, without Trey Wilson, so many other guys that weren't in that ball game, and even on the other side, not having one of their leaders in Jason Marshall.
And another thing I was saying, because we were talking about this before the game. Remember we were talking about how massive Georgia's defensive friends were, and I was taking offense to being an offensive lineman. You take offense when people say, "Oh, this defense is you can't block this." So I was like, if that offensive line musters up some strength to some double teams, and y'all were running the ball effectively. Y'all were balanced with Lagway in there, and then if he continued in that game. Listen, I'm saying y'all would have won that game.
Yeah. Well, let me just tell you something. It had reached a point where you definitely felt like everything emotionally. Mr. Jim Houston walking through here right now, taking care of us. Emotionally speaking, Georgia was going, what the heck's going on? We were supposed to come in here and roll. We just beat the best team, quote, the best team in America in Texas. And this goes back to all the headline loving that they had experienced in the off week.
Absolutely. Listen, for the first 2 quarters and a half, y'all were the more physical team. Y'all were the one making the plays on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. Y'all had Georgia reeling for a moment. You had them questioning themselves because you knew that they came in this game favored by what? They were favored by 20-some points?
Well, it had come down to 14 and a half.
14 and a half, okay. All right. But, no, y'all played well, man. I hated to see Lagway go down.
All right, let's make this the 10-10 take because this is where you're caught right now if you're a Gator fan.
Now, Joe C's 10-10 take. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmasters since '68.
Sonny's definitely doing it right. You can find them all over the First Coast. If you are enjoying a tailgate barbecue, you can definitely get them to set it up for you for your next one, that's for sure. I feel for Gator fans a lot like I feel for Jaguar fans because the product is not as good as you'd like it to be. And in this case, Florida was in a ball game for a long period of time inside Everbank Stadium. Terrible injury to DJ Lagway. You saw him on the sidelines on crutches. You felt for him. And then Mr. Yale comes in, and you have to acknowledge this much. The fact that Mr. Yale was able to come in and basically score the exact same number of points that DJ Lagway was responsible for, a touchdown and a field goal. They had the field goal right before the half. They were able to come back in the second half and get themselves in a situation where it was competitive for a long time. Defensively, they played their tails off. But I got to make this very clear. you can't fall back in love with Billy just because you're playing in close ball games. You can't fall back in love with Billy just because you're making it competitive against your arch rival who is playing for championships, okay? That's what Georgia is doing these days. Florida is nowhere near playing for championships. So even though you can applaud and pat on the back and all that kind of stuff, you better not put yourself in a situation where, hey, I think Billy's done enough to keep it, and if we don't have him, we may not have Lagway. Don't fall into that trap. That's the 10-10 take.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. You can't allow the fact that you play as your resume, all right? Florida is who they are. Their record speaks volumes. And if you allow Napier a pass for almost beating Georgia, then you're never going to get out the cellar. You're never going to get out the cellar. The expectations are going to continue to be low. The bottom line is he's got to find somebody who can go in there and win those games. Put collectively, offense and defense, put the staff together that can go in and beat the Georgia. Stop being the stepchild to the Georgia Bulldogs.
And you and I listened to the update that Molly had at the beginning of our show, and Billy's standing up like a salesman trying to convince everybody that they have turned a corner. He said, this is the best we've been.
He's pounding his chest.
Yes, since he said basically since I've been here in this rivalry. It's year 3. You obviously are going up against one of the best teams in college football. I 100% get that. But you don't need to be saying we are just now getting here. You need to have had to have turned a corner, a much bigger corner, and a much more showcase of improvement in year 2 into year 3 to where you're picking off these teams. They haven't beaten a team with a winning record. And now Tennessee goes down, and you're looking around going, they could have picked them off. That could have been one of his signature wins that might have saved his job.
Yeah, you know you've arrived as a coaching staff and as a university when you start winning those games. You start beating the Georgias. You start beating the Tennessees of the world. Not the almost. The almost don't count.
No.
Just like the NFL, college football is a bottom line business. It's about wins, not almost or not nice tries. No, you got when your program turns the circle. It's going to be because they start picking off those teams that they're playing close to.
Yeah, it's something else. All right, so we will definitely stay on that subject. We get into the 3 o'clock hour. Quarterback Whisperer, we hope he'll drop by and say hello, Denny Thompson, and definitely talk a little bit more about that game and some of the other ones. The texter, don't forget Jack Pyburn. He's the man. Look, he played his tail off. And there was one play where all 3 Jacksonville players had a hand in it. Now, Carson Beck doesn't want to be the one that had a hand in it because he threw the pick, but it was Pup Howard of Jackson getting to Carson Beck of Mandarin and Jack Pyburn of Bowles picking it off. That was, honestly, that was pretty dang cool. Speaks volumes to what this high school football on the First Coast has been about here recently. They kick out some good players. One of our texters, when you guys do it, that just happened. I keep hoping it's something happening here in Duval, and you know what they want. They want somebody to go. It could be Trent, it could be Doug, it could be Press, it could be whatever. But whenever they hear that, it definitely flips them out. All right, so we'll get into the 3 o'clock hour. Golf Club of Southampton is where we were hanging out. We say thanks to Mocama Beer Company. You can definitely log on mocama.com, see everything that they got going on. Coffee every single day of the week in their beautiful tap room up in Fernandina on South 8th Street, and then craft Tuesday through Sunday. So definitely check them out there or their Wildlight location, and you can definitely pick up some Cosmico, Rare Cargo, whatever it might be. The motor, outstanding crafts that you can enjoy with Mocama. We keep it going. College football on your Jaguars in the 3 o'clock hour. Joe C., Big Searce, it's XL Primetime.
Let's go. Game day gets here a little quicker with Pre-Game Friday.
Here we go.
Who's in, who's out, who's on upset watch.
Exactly.
We'll get you ready for the games.
All right, you ready?
Brought to you by Treen Finders Homes on 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Nick in here for the Borland Groover Foundation. If you're 45 or older, you need to get screened for colon cancer. Ask your doctor about getting a colonoscopy. The key to surviving colon cancer, early detection and prevention. Borland Groover recently expanded into St. Johns County. The new and advanced surgery center and medical office is open in Durbin Crossing. Visit BorlandGroover.com for a location near you. Remember, 45 is the new 50. Get screened today with Borland Groover.
Florida's weather is unpredictable. Don't let the Epic Chill catch you off guard. For reliable heating services, call Epic Cool Heating and Air. Keep your home cozy all season long. Call 904-859-EPIC, 904-859-3742.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers.
Mia here for my bookie. Hope everyone had a profitable weekend betting. But you know what tonight is? Monday Night Football. No Chris Godwin, no Mike Evans. Tom Brady's not walking through that door. But the Tampa Bay Bucks still have to travel to play a 2-time defending world champion Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are favored by 8.5 points with the over-under game total around 45.5. Cade Otton, the tight end, was the de facto #1 receiving target last week. The Chiefs generally are pretty weak at defending tight ends. Right now, you can bet Cade Otton to score 1 or more touchdowns, paying plus 210. That means if you bet 100 and he scores, you get paid $220. MyBookie has the best sign-up bonus in the industry for Florida bettors. Our listeners can sign up and use promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your very first deposit up to $1,000. That's promo code 1010XL to claim your double deposit bonus for Monday Night Football. Bet anywhere, anytime, and make your season a winning season with MyBookie.
Once in a lifetime savings.
No corporate jeweler does that.
Beard's Diamonds does. It's their incredible 44th anniversary sale.
Everything store-wide is on sale, up to an unbelievable 44% off at the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Weekends were made for sports, and I'll tell you my take on this weekend's best options. Pick it here. Watch for Weekend with Dan on YouTube and Facebook. Weekend with Dan is brought to you by Stone Core. We do outdoors better.
Universal Roof and Contracting presents the Offensive Player of the Game. Universal Roof and Contracting. The difference is universal.
Trevor Lawrence had a strong performance in the city of brotherly love on Sunday. The Jacksonville quarterback went 16 of 31 against Philly for 169 yards and added in 2 rushing touchdowns in what was a great outing. Lawrence styled and profiled against the Eagles' defense all game long, and he's your Universal Roof and Contracting Offensive Player of the Game.
Break in the savings this fall with Universal Roof and Contracting. Enjoy 15% off all roof repairs and replacements, plus a free wind mitigation inspection. With financing options as low as $115 a month, protecting your home has never been easier. Schedule your free roof inspection today. Call 855-ROOF-HELP. Offer expires November 30th. Protect your home and your wallet.
License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This is Walker Little of your Jacksonville Jaguars for Kingfish Pest Control. I've been a Kingfish customer for a while now and can confirm that their service is incredible. Not only do they protect my family from pests, Kingfish's office staff is the friendliest around. They even email me a photo of the tech before arriving at my home. Kingfish Pest Control is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Be sure to enter their Swat That Kick sweepstakes for free pest control for 3 years. Go to kingfishpest.com and tell them Walker Little sent you.
If you're looking for custom metalwork, look no further than Superior Fence and Rail. Whether it's custom railing, shade structures, or custom entry gates, their expert team controls the turnkey process. From CAD design and raw metal to powder-coated finish and expert installation. When you choose Superior Fence and Rail for your custom metal project, you get a project that's, well, superior. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail today.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
This is Hayes Carlion for SkyLife Elite. Have you ever thought about aircraft ownership as another potential revenue stream and as a tool for tax savings? Put your tax money to work for you while enjoying the benefits of private personal travel. SkyLife Elite has over a decade of experience in business aviation and can guide you through the process with their expert staff. Call my friends over at SkyLife Elite at 490-9332 or find them at flyskylife.com to get the rundown on everything owning an airplane can do for you.
This is Corona Premier. It's the light beer you didn't know was a light beer. Until right. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Now, Corona Premier, an unexpectedly light beer.
This is Molly McDonald with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update, brought to you by the YMCA. The FSU Seminoles suffered their 5th consecutive loss against the North Carolina Tar Heels this past Saturday, 35-11, marking the longest losing streak for the program in 49 years. Noles head coach Mike Norvell spoke postgame on the loss.
We talked about the importance of trying to establish and get the ground game going, as well as the importance of having to stop the run against one of the most talented backs that we played. And obviously that was something that we failed to do on both sides. You look at third downs, time of possession, that was extremely one-sided. We're just for us, even when we have things that a positive play or positive moment, we're just not being able to sustain that, to build upon that. Something that's really hurt this team.
The Noles will get back on the road to take on Notre Dame this Saturday at 7:30. It's 81 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson.
Okay, bring it in.
Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security, security and automation experts, and George Moore Chevrolet.
1, 2, 3.
So our dude, Denny Thompson, the quarterback whisperer, hanging out on the back patio with us here at the Golf Club of Southampton. I was worried he wouldn't make it, and I'm like, come on, man, this is an oasis. Just come back here and chill.
Yeah,
right?
We should do this every week.
Yeah.
This is fantastic. And I'm sitting next to the guy smoking his own cigar.
He's got a tell me what the name of this one is.
That's baller right there.
Tell me what the name of this one is, Big
This is the Little Sirs.
Yeah.
All right. All Nicaraguan leaf binder and blend. 5.5, 56 gauge cigar.
So you can go to YouTube and you can check it out. And
You
Big
can't
Searcy
compete with that.
Yeah. And by the way, he's got the front and back packaged up.
Oh yeah.
Along with the Little Sirs.
Yeah, it's called the front. It's called the front and back. It's called the Perfect Round.
Yeah.
It's in a Green Masters box, and first top of the sticks are called the front 9. Second is called the back 9. The front 9 is a Connecticut smoke. The back 9 is more of a Habano. It's 18 sticks.
Listen to this guy.
It's 18 sticks in the box.
I have no idea what you just said, Leon. I just think it's awesome that you got your name on it.
There it is.
I do love it. But if you go to YouTube, you can check out the stream. So not only is the stick burning, but we got pickles, fries, wings, and they take their wings and they grill them. Outstanding. So thanks to Derek and everybody here, Jimmy, and all of them at the Golf Club of Southampton. So let's talk quarterback play. We just finished talking about the Florida Gators, and I love this off the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Am I hearing that the mighty Gators are into moral victories after another 2-score loss to their biggest rival, absent its top 3 running backs, ETN and the Robinson boys, top 2 wide receivers, yada, yada, yada. They go on and on and on. UGA still has the biggest win in college football this year. And so, look, this is going to be the jabbing back and forth. That's exactly what you should expect. That's what makes our college football world so great. I don't want Florida feeling like they came close and almost did this and almost did that and be satisfied with where they are.
Yeah, but you got to recognize the progress.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the thing, right? There was definite progress made this year at Florida, and you have to recognize that. And Florida's not a moral victory school, but in order to get to the victories, you have to have progress, and I think they're having that.
Well, I think this is the rub, and this will always be the rub. Mario has turned the corner. Now he's dodged a few bullets. He's in I'm going to take a shot. He's in a crappy conference is what I would always call the ACC.
The facts are the facts. I mean, the schedule is what it is.
Yeah, and so he's right now, he's thriving. I don't know whether if Billy's coaching Miami versus coaching the University of Florida, he would have a better record. I have no idea. But Mario has turned the corner, Denny, and while there is improvement, I just don't want Gator fans to feel like boom, that's enough to keep the ship sailing in one direction.
Isn't it crazy, though, the correlations between the Jags and the Gators right now, though? It really is because, and I know we're going to bounce all over, but, hearing you talk about that is usually, you're a couple plays away, and then all of a sudden you just kind of learn how to win. And on Napier's side of things, the thing that you have to like if you're a Florida fan is his guys are making plays. Mm-hmm. The guys that he brought in seem to be dogs, and they are making plays right now. They're still just like the Gators, or just like the Jags. There's still those 2, 3, 4 plays a game that you just go, what? Mm-hmm. There's still the 4th and 1 yesterday with Jacksonville. There's still the interception. Florida has their version of those plays every single week, and it's like, okay, is that coaching? Is that execution? What is it? But it has to stop because you're not going to win in the NFL or in the SEC doing those things.
Isn't it turning the corner for a Gator program when – not that you're competing and they're making progress, but when you start winning those football games. And I think before, because I said this, there's no merit badges. College football and NFL is like a bottom line business. It's about W's. It's about wins.
Yeah.
So I think the Gators fans should be optimistic, but not with Billy. Because you can't give him credit for almost beating Georgia. When y'all start beating Georgia, that's when you know the program's turned.
Well, I didn't mean to say not to Billy. I meant to say to optimistic. Like, it is what it is. You're going to end up this year not going to a bowl game, more than likely, right? Mm-hmm. For what? How many? What is this, the 3rd, 4th straight?
Well, yeah, you're going through now 3 losing seasons.
Right,
you start adding everything
up. So you can't forget that. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, 2 things can be true. You can acknowledge that they have improved drastically since even week 3 of this year. Mm-hmm. Right? Now, how long does it take to get to where, that Florida-Georgia game is the way it was, 10 years ago? I don't know. I mean, that's the question. That's the hard question that ADs have to ask is, do we want to start over? Or is there still enough meat on the potential success of this program under this staff? And that's a hard question to answer.
So
especially when there's millions of dollars behind it.
True. Yeah. So you better believe it. And the dollars have gotten so big. And when you look at the SEC standings, and Florida's in the bottom half of the SEC standings instead of the top half, the pay is the pay. He's getting compensated well. His assistants are getting compensated well. The recruiting budget is there. Everything that you would expect to have at the University of Florida at your disposal.
But I'm saying to turn that over.
Yeah.
To turn that over is not only a huge risk because you don't know what you're getting, but it's also a ton of money.
I
you got buyouts at every one of those positions. Yeah. You got to replace everything. Everybody wants to come in and have their own locker room, and it's by the time you get done with it, you're talking about a $40-50 million transition cost.
Yeah. It's massive, and that's why when you think of a couple of other ones, Florida State. When Norvell got the phone call from Alabama, not only did he get a bump, he got a bump for all his assistants.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And they added years to their contract and more dollars.
That's right.
And so, they're looking at the reality of that. And I know it's not.
You don't want to hear that as a fan.
Right.
Yeah, it does, and it shouldn't matter as a fan, mm-hmm. but it is a reality that it has to be dealt with one way or the other. And it does come into play. Mm-hmm. Without question, it has to.
Well, the way I look at it is that Florida State went through several guys that didn't work out, and it took them a while for Mike Norvell to ultimately turn the corner. And now we all know that he's pedaling backwards again, and they're in a whirl of hurt. When Georgia made their decision to part with Mark Richt was a 750 win percentage dude.
Crazy.
And so they said goodbye to that. He was winning 3 out of every 4, and then they got to the next level. Whereas this football team, like you just mentioned, losing seasons, how do you get to that next level after what you have gone through?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think the easy answer is, and what we always will say is, it starts with recruiting. Mm-hmm. And I think that if you're a Gator fan, that may be the thing that right now you're looking at going, wait, okay, DJ Lagway looks legit. And all these guys that Billy and his staff brought in look really, really good. So not that you've got a top 10 class, but the fact that they've actually been pretty good evaluators means something in there. So I think it's got to start there. You got to get more depth. I mean, even Georgia, I heard you guys talking on the way in. Mm-hmm. When you start going through the injuries that they've had, they've had it, but it didn't change the expectation. No, there's nobody watching Georgia going, you know what, they've got like 7-8 injuries. If they lose, that's no. The expectation is you go out there and you win, and in most cases in Georgia, you win with perfection.
Because you know why? No one cares.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. That's what Coach Johnson used to tell us all the time. Nobody cares if you're injured. The next man got to step up and play ball.
Right.
All right, because no one's going to feel sorry for you.
But you've got to evolve. You've got to evolve to that. Is my point. Like Florida's got to have stacked 2-3 more classes together, and hitting the portal to be able to get to where they can even sustain that level.
Well, here's the thing with Billy, Joe. I mean, if they fire him, more than likely, those guys that we saw go toe-to-toe with Georgia for about 3 quarters, they're going to bounce, bro.
That's
their loyalty to him is going to be their exodus from the team. So are you willing to deal with that?
It's such a hard decision. And by the way, we've never talked about this, the cost of the players bouncing. That's never been a thing. But now all of a sudden, you need 20 players in the portal, those boosters better step up.
And there's another check-writing booster on the other side that wants to take your guy, specifically DJ Lagway. And even though Matt's not here today, he's working USA Today Sports on a column, he'll be the first to tell you that DJ from Texas wants DJ back, an A&M booster ready to write the big buck check. And that's what you have to battle.
And you don't want to get into a bidding war with him.
Yeah.
Like to Leon's point, like the way you can keep this is you got to find a way to keep the staff. But again, I'm not saying you keep the staff. I don't know what they do. But I know it was weird for me.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm pulling for Georgia because of Carson, but I'm a longtime Gator fan, and I know sitting in that stadium watching it, going, okay, this is the most physical I've seen a Florida football team in probably 3 or 4 years. They're flying around the ball. They look like they know what they're doing. This is a massive step in the right direction. Now, whatever that means, that means. I don't know if that means you keep them, but that's not the same team that played against Miami, and I'm not making an excuse to lose against Miami. It ain't the same 2 teams.
No, because they got smoked by Miami, got smoked by A&M, got smoked by the teams by a couple scores by Georgia that are the cream of the crop. Those are the measuring sticks in the Atlantic Coast Conference. The other 2 in the SEC. And the last 2 times this team got to a bowl game, they were 500, and they lost those bowl games. Okay, that's still not good enough.
Yep.
Okay, 6 and 7 bowl loss or bowl team bowl loss ain't good enough. Well, and so now you got to answer this question, and it's like I'm just trying to think of a good analogy. You know, you and your lady, it's good, but it's not great, and you're ready to bust off and go somewhere else, and then you always come calling back, and then you put yourself back in that situation, and then it's bad again. And if you keep Billy, will you find yourself back in that situation?
Well, what does history tell you? History tells you, yeah. I mean, we talk about, Norvell. Let's not act like Florida State held on to Norvell for 10 years.
Yeah.
Right? They held on to him for 3 years.
Right.
Right? History tells you that there's very few coaches that actually come around in a program that don't have immediate success. So, I mean, I don't know. If you think you got the exception, like we said, it's in your analogy, same thing. Like at some point, the finances are going to come into, do I want to keep her or not?
Right.
Same exact thing. It's probably a great analogy.
Yeah. And I don't know. All right, so let's get to the game real quick. Carson did not play his best. Now, what is he fighting in your mind? Because you're not coaching him in a game or what's the best way to put this, Denny? You're not coaching him in game situations. You're coaching him with his mechanics.
Yeah, biomechanics and I mean, all the stuff that goes along with that. But I talked to Carson, daily. And, it wasn't a good game. I mean, you can go back through the games that Carson's had, and there's been a lot of games where at the end of it, you go back and you look at the film and you go, okay, well, maybe that wasn't on him, right? Somebody bust through too soon. He had to throw it too soon, or maybe a receiver didn't run the route he's supposed to. So, okay, we can live with that. There was a bad throw or two in this one. There was a bad decision, which is very unlike Carson. So, yeah, I mean, I think, just having that game, I thought his post-game press conference was really good because there is also, and when I say this, I know people are going to roll their eyes, the reason he came back was to win a natty.
Yeah.
They're the number 2 team in the country, and they won. And he is one of those kids that he don't really care how it looks. He just wants the W. That's literally all he wants. But at the same time, you do recognize that you got to clean up some of the mistakes, and that's being addressed.
Yeah, he's fighting it, and I'm sure maybe you could kind of paint a picture for us, Leon, especially a spotlight position like a quarterback. Like you make a mistake or two, you want to make up for it twice on the next play. You know how that goes, right? And in the particular case of a quarterback wants to throw 2 touchdowns on the next play.
Yeah, I mean, listen, anytime you make a mistake at the quarterback position and you know you made a mistake, the next thing you want to do is rectify that mistake with a good pass or a touchdown or something like that. So that constant pressure is always on you.
The psychology is crazy.
Yes, absolutely.
The psychology of this whole thing is crazy because the thing that you don't want to do, what makes Carson is he can make every throw on the field. So you don't want him second-guessing that.
No.
You don't want him worrying about making a mistake, right? But at the same time, like, okay, this is a little different makeup. It's a little different team. They're a very good team. They got a lot of talent, but it's not last year's team. So you got to play it a little bit differently. So the psychology of it is touchy. But the one thing that I love about Carson is that doesn't seem to faze him. He's there to win football games, and he really, honestly I care more about how it looks than he cares. He doesn't care at all.
Right. And I tell you what, there were a couple of moments, and that's what happens is he starts to vibe, and then he may take that extra chance. And that's what happens because all of a sudden, and I think I asked you this question last week, second half of the year, he and Mike Bobo, his offensive coordinator, started to get on the first page, and they started to basically figure everything out. You do have to give that defense credit for mixing coverages up to where it got him a little bit.
Yeah, no question. There's a couple things that I think are going on in college football right now. The defenses are pretty good. And we're seeing in the NFL too.
Oh, yeah.
The numbers are down. People are figuring out offenses. It's hard. It's really, really hard. The pass rushers is these guys are – I heard you talking on the way in.
Yeah.
I don't mean to offend you, but the pass rushers today are so daggum long and fast and lean.
Yeah,
like it's a different game. Defenses are catching up to the
Leon
offense.
Wouldn't be able to handle it?
No, I just heard what he said. Leon can play in any decade, but there's only so many Leons.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I mean, that's the reality of Leon's Leon.
Yeah.
Listen, if I can block Reggie White, I can block anybody.
Correct.
In this era.
And Reggie, but that's the great point because Reggie White is not that skill set, but that build is what everybody is now.
Yeah, it's something. All right, so let's do that in this next seg with our quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson, because Trevor and that offense is going through some struggles, and we worry about that damn 15 scripted plays that are getting you nowhere. What in the world is going on with that? And then some of those decisions a little bit later on. We'll do that with our quarterback whisperer. You guys can hit the text line 641-1010. A Mokama Beer Company Monday. We thank all y'all for hanging out with us at the beautiful Golf Club of Southampton.
If offense and defense don't win the game, sometimes it's up to the special team.
And here comes the field goal team. They've got to hurry.
After the game, catch the Crown Royal Special Teams Player of the Game. Live generously and life will treat you royally on 1010XL.
Nimnick Chevrolet is your Silverado headquarters. Frank Frangie here. With the largest inventory on the ground, outstanding cash incentives, and their best price guarantee, your perfect truck is waiting for you at Nimnick. And for even deeper discounts, ask about their demo model. You can shop online 24/7 at nimnickchevy.com or visit the dealership off Cassett Avenue today. Remember, who's got more new Silverados at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnick. That's nimnickchevy.com. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
I'm Chris Campione. In a world of big box law firms with satellite offices, there's something special about having a local legal team that cares about you and your community. We're not just lawyers, we're your neighbors. We understand the unique challenges facing the Jacksonville community because we live here too. At Campione Law, Campione Cares isn't just a tagline, it's our commitment to you. Campione Law, your trusted lawyers after an accident. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione. Campione Law.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
Hi, I'm Frank Frangie, and I've depended on South State for my banking needs as long as they've been serving Duval. Whether you're saving for retirement, purchasing a home, starting a business, your goals are their commitment. With forward-thinking, personalized banking solutions and best-in-class service, South State is ready to help you navigate your financial journey. Connect at southstatebank.com or drop by any of the 5 local South State offices. South State Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Denny Thompson here. They're still growing. Tyson Sound & Security is looking to hire a master electrician. Are you or someone you know a master electrician with residential experience? Candidate will start at the industry's most competitive pay. Apply online at TysonSoundandSecurity.com or call to apply 762-1000. Tyson Sound & Security hiring a master electrician offering top-notch industry pay. Call to apply 762-1000. Equal opportunity employer.
The experts at AMCO have been fixing cars for almost 60 years. Over that time, they've gotten more complex than ever. That's why our techs undergo rigorous training and certifications. so they can fix anything, including the most complicated repairs that come with some of the latest technologies. After 60 years, there's nothing we haven't seen or fixed. It's how we know cars inside and out.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Family owned and operated in Jacksonville, Orange Park, St. Augustine, and St. Mary's, Georgia.
Wow, John, my Clearwater sprinkler system looks great.
All right, Frank, let's go ahead and program your Rainbird timer. How many minutes do you want the zones to run?
John, I think we run from the front 20, the sides 15, the back 10, the garden 5. Clearwater scores!
Well, that's a first, Frank, but you're the boss.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage to
ClearwaterJacks.com. It's soccer around the world, and here at home on the Sporting Jack Soccer Hour on 1010XL. Join Cole Pepper, Mauricio Ruiz, and Becky Burley for Soccer Talk.
Tuesday nights at 6
on 1010 AM.
This is Mark Nato. My sons and I have seen the doctors and PAs at Southeast Ortho for everything from lumbar spine stress to elbow tendonitis. Southeast has always been there, been truthful, and always been on point. Everything they say happens. We can't thank them enough for what they've done and the great care that they have taken of our sons.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Dandy subs and sandwiches. Look, we always want you to think about those great options as you're driving around Duval. But the beauty is, even as I'm dropping pounds, Dandy's got great options for me as well. Told you all about their protein packs, delicious salads that they have out there. They have fruit cups for on the go. You know what they have. Veggie snack trays. You can grab those on the go as well. Perfect, healthy snack. Dandy is the name to know when you're on the go. So stop into a Gates store anywhere around Duval and make yours a dandy, and do it today.
Movember is Men's Health Awareness Month, so take charge of your health and vitality at Ackerman Urology in Mandarin, Middleburg, the Beaches, and Whirl Golf Village. For prostate and urological needs, trust Ackerman Urology. AckermanUrology.com.
The holidays are around the corner, and the last thing you want is a septic emergency. Call Duck Duck Rooter and schedule your septic tank pump out or full system inspection. 904-862-6769. That's 904-862-6769.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Looking for a new or used firearm? Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach will get you locked and loaded. New firearms coming in weekly and always looking for used guns. No lines and no waiting. Online at beachesjewelryandpawn.com.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's Mocama Monday on XL Primetime. Head to the tap room in Fernandina Beach every day that ends with Y and enjoy some Mocama.
Definitely enjoying them anytime you are up in Fernandina or Wildlight. Look for that beautiful tap room on South 8th Street as you head into the historic district of Fernandina in the Wildlight. Their satellite location, and you can log on, mocama.com, and between Ernest and Simon and Casey and all of them, they just got a great setup, that's for sure. Tuesday through Sunday, you can enjoy some delicious craft from Mocama Beer Company. We got our quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson, for one more seg. And we mentioned what happened yesterday. How in the blazes, Denny, I know you don't know the answer to this, but we have to ask you this question, and Leon and I were trying to sort it out earlier. 15 scripted plays is generally what you have going into a game. Are they supposed to work?
We talked about this last week, right?
Are they supposed to work?
It's unbelievable. It's unreal. Aren't those supposed to be your 15 that everybody's most comfortable with? At least get you some information. I don't know.
They didn't get their first down until midway through the second quarter last week. they were blanked again in the first half of this game, down 22-0. About 7 minutes to go in the third quarter, something in that neighborhood.
Have you ever been part of anything like that?
Never.
I know you went to playoffs, but there was never a stretch.
36 yards in 2 quarters.
Yeah. There was never a stretch of football where you played where it was just like, why can't we move the football?
One time, when we got blown out by the Vikings, 50-10.
So one game, not a stretch, just a game.
Just one game, yeah.
Like, I'm looking at this, Denny, and there's really no getting away from it. First half stats. Okay, 40 plays versus 18. This is Eagles on one side, Jags on the other. Total yards, 187 to 31. First downs, 10-1. Turnovers, Jacksonville leading that one, 2-0 because they turned it over twice. And time of possession, 21-26 compared to 8:34.
Hey, here's all I can say about this is I am very thankful that I don't still have a daily show on 92.5 FM because I don't know what you can say. You can't explain it. I don't. Every week it's the same thing. I mean, I don't know what the 4th and 1 play was yesterday. I have no idea what that is. The last play of the game, I don't. I'm all about taking that shot early.
Right.
I get that, but it looked like they tried to draw that matchup up, right? It looked like they schemed that matchup up, and I'm not real sure why, unless they know something we don't know about that matchup.
Right.
But if you're not positive on that, way too early, man, you got way too much time. And
yes.
Even if you score there, I mean, crap, the way our luck's going, they're going to come back anyway. There's too much time. But just that matchup, I don't understand schematically what they were trying to accomplish on any level in that last play. If you're going to throw that ball, throw it to 7.
Yeah.
Throw it to 7.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, Evan Ingram.
Yeah, exactly.
Jump ball. Yeah, if you're going to throw that play, I mean, those are the type of throws where you think that was the type of play where you would think Trevor would try to zip it in, where it either goes outside or back shoulder, where it either goes out of bounds.
Which was there.
Which was absolutely there.
Yep.
But, I mean, for him to lob it up in the air like that was just ridiculous.
With that matchup.
And you had 1:40 in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Dearness Johnson isn't the tallest cat, and he's coming out of the backfield. That's not a type of throw that you're trying to.
No, and that's you go back and Doug Peterson's great at this. Doug Peterson, the year they went to the playoffs here, and at Philly, he was a mastermind at scheming up mismatches, especially at the tight end position.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, okay, they schemed up that matchup, but it's why?
Okay, so here's another obvious question, and this is what I'm wondering, and I don't know the answer to this. Has this offense been figured out? His version of the West Coast offense, or presses, or whomever, because it seems like it's easily neutralized, negated. They have had their share of big plays. I'm not going to take that away from them, but they're not turning them into touchdowns.
This is where I feel like you can just go in circles as a fan, as an analyst, as a coach, as a player, because I think what most people would say, Leon would know better than I am, is I don't think any offense is new anymore. And everybody knows what's coming. There's 30% play calling, 70% execution?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, at some point, he's calling the same plays that everybody else in the league's calling. The Jags just aren't executing it.
Well,
am I wrong on that?
Well, I wish I knew for sure, because the only reason I'm saying this, and I'm kind of stuck on it a little bit, is that it seems like and you can think of the disciples that came through the West Coast swing and all these guys. Then you go to the Shanahan tree, and it looks like the Johnsons, the McVays, the O'Connells. It does seem like they have a few more different things.
Oh, sure. There's guys that are talented play callers. There's guys that can do it. And I would have said Doug Peterson is that. I just don't know who's calling the plays.
Right.
I would have said Doug Peterson is that. But my point is, like, all those motions, all those shifts with your eyes, all that looks great on TV. It takes time. It takes practice time. It takes all kinds of stuff. You get false starts. You get holdings because of so much leverage play. And what they're doing now is what 90% of the league does. They just have to freaking execute it at some point.
Here's the thing that's troubling to me, Denny, is the fact that the third string running back was the first option.
Yeah, that's my point. That's my point.
Yeah.
That's my point.
That's what I have a problem with.
You just said it way better than
Trevor
I did.
went right to him. He didn't even go through his progressions. I mean, he didn't even look to Evan Ingram. He didn't even look to BTJ. He went right to the running back off the play.
If you can scheme up that matchup, you can scheme up Evan Ingram on that matchup, right?
Thank you, that part.
Okay, so now what are we saying? that 16.
I don't think we'll ever know. Like, did they call that play for something on the other side, and Trevor did that on his own, or did they scheme that up for that? That just seems like a weird time for that to be your go-to. If you want to try that middle of the field,
right,
2nd and 1 in the second quarter, see if you can't get past them with a running back on a linebacker, that makes some sense. But near the goal line where the field's shortened, that just doesn't make any sense.
And I don't know how true it is, but we talked about this on the fifth quarter. After Trevor threw the interception, he came to the sideline. He walked, and I don't know if Doug said why, and Trevor kept walking. I don't know if there's any truth to that or whatever. But in my opinion, if you throw that kind of pick right there, you have to answer that.
No question.
You have to answer why you make that throw the way you threw that ball.
No question. And I think when you present all the facts, like I think what you probably would come down to is that's probably a mistake on 16 right there. I mean, that's probably the reality of it.
Right. And especially with time to throw.
Yeah. When you go through that whole thing, that's probably. But again, can you just wrap all that up into execution? And I think you can. Like that's the problem. Is it's always something. Then they get a guy playing decent football, and he gets hurt on the offensive line, and it's just one of those years.
Yeah. There's no way you can quite figure out what the temperature in that room is and who's boiling over and who's looking for solutions, because I do get a little frustrated. Look, Doug's a professional cat. He wants his play. He knows that he has to make his players make the plays. He knows that. He can't will that to happen. But he keeps saying a lot of the same stuff. We just need to get it going. We just need to I don't know what button to push.
One of my favorite things each Sunday now is to listen to Bucky Brooks in the interview afterwards, because I think Bucky does an amazing job of trying, like, how do you ask? How do you ask the same thing every week? But you can tell Doug Peterson's just speechless. I don't know. This isn't happening during the weekend practice.
And he's not a fire and brimstone guy.
He's not.
I get that part.
I don't think they had that. Is that part of the? Do they have any of that on this team?
No.
None of that, right?
I think Leon, and he always says this, he and Big Bo knew when to take over, or Brew, or Freddie, or whomever. You can go the other side. There definitely were leaders on the other side. I don't know where that's at right now.
Well, the impression I get from this team is that everybody's looking around for somebody else to make the play. No, you're the guy.
Yep.
You're the guy. You're the playmaker. You go make a play. Yep. If it's a guard, if it's a center, if it's a tackle, if it's a tight end, if it's a wide receiver, whoever. I was just telling Joe this earlier. When it comes to BTJ, he got the same amount of targets as Treadwell. What's his name?
Trammell.
They both got the same amount of targets.
Unreal.
That cannot happen.
If that same scenario happens in Minnesota, where do you think they're going?
Oh my gosh, Justin Jefferson would be flipping and tripping.
Right. I mean, and you can go all the way down the line. It's why, one more observation on this leadership thing, because I was at a lot of practices back in the day when he and Tony were playing.
Yeah.
And you call me out on this. You always got my permission. I remember a lot of times where that practice, like those two decided, we're going to start some crap here. We're going to start some crap. It's not what we want it to be, but we're going to start a competition. We're going to start some crap. And nobody would say anything to them. You had to run through them.
Yeah.
Like, it's the way you had to practice. And I don't know. I'm not at these practices. Do they have that?
No, because the reason why we did that, because, defense is chirp.
Yeah.
And they were making a couple of plays. So me and Bo was like, really? Okay. Now we're going to run the ball. We're going to turn it up on y'all.
Yeah.
So,
and you did it more than one, like all the time.
Many a time.
Yeah.
Many a time.
And it's so funny. And I think and would 100% agree, Denny, everything's changed from the collective bargaining agreement, how many times they get
But I still think you can do that. I still think you can do that's a personality. That is like a refusal to be average even in practice.
Yes.
That's a great way to put it.
It wasn't just me and Tony. Then Jay Smooth got upset.
Yep.
And then Fred got upset. And then Keenan, now guess what? We're going to go light y'all. Because we knew at that time we were better than our defense.
Yeah.
I don't care what they say. They knew if we hear you turn it up on them in practice, and then they damn thing could do about it.
And if you can do it in practice, you can do it in the game. You flip that same switch.
What's so crazy, just to put a wrap on this for this day, is that they came through training camp, and at least Leon, Maddie, all of us there, we were all over these practices. I'm like, they made a commitment. They want to get tougher. They want to be physical. They want to work on red zone. And we talked about it on and on and on. And Christian Kirk would come in after practice and say, you know what? No, what we did last, not acceptable. And I'm thinking, I'm buying everything they're selling. And I'm thinking they're going to be a more physical football team. Tank's turning the corner. All these things. And then it hasn't added up to crap.
Fools go, Joe.
It's unreal.
Yes.
Go.
It's unreal. Listen, I can't say anything because I was convinced Nick Foles was going to win an MVP one training camp.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's just it's nuts. Like we said, for the fans, I feel for them more than anybody else. That's for sure. All right, Denny. As always, we appreciate it. Denny Thompson at Denny_Thompson. You can definitely check him out. And of course, everything that's going on with our quarterback, a whisperer. We will get to the conclusion of our show from the beautiful golf club of Southampton coming up in just a bit. A few more thoughts on the Jags. Back to some of that college football. We haven't mentioned a couple of teams going down that definitely will change things up in the CFP. We will do that before we are done as we get ready for the Frangie Show coming up at 4 o'clock.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL.
Why go big or go home when you can go epic and save at Arlington Toyota? Mia here, and right now you can lease a new 2024 Corolla LE for only $89 a month. A new 2025 Camry SE for only $129 per month. Need an SUV? Then lease a new 2024 RAV4 XLE for only $199 per month. Our friends at Arlington even have epic lease savings on trucks too. Go epic and save big at Arlington Toyota. Shop arlingtontoyota.com today.
This is Josh Woolsey with Woolsey Morecambe. Woolsey Morecambe is your MVP in the legal game. Our team of skilled attorneys tackle personal injury cases with compassion and expertise. With fumbles like a car or truck accident, we're here to seek the compensation you deserve. Right here in Jacksonville, we've successfully won over $100 million and earned a championship-worthy record. When it's game time, you want a team that plays to win. Contact Woolsey Morecambe at 1-800-WOOLSEY. Offices, Jacksonville.
Post-game Monday on 1010XL is brought to you by Dandy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff.
Former Jaguars corner and first-year head football coach at Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows, K-12, Aaron Beasley here. Are you looking for an A-rated K-12 school prioritizing academics, arts, and athletics? Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows offers a rigorous curriculum to develop strong minds with an additional focus on growing good hearts. DCSB has been an A school for 8 years, and our tuition is free. Now enrolling. Apply at baymeadowscharter.org.
Hacker here, and let me tell you, this is the stuff I never thought I'd say. I now weigh 209 pounds thanks to Awaken 180. To put that in perspective, I'm down from a triple XL to a large. My waist has dropped 10 inches from a 48 to a 38. I honestly never thought I'd get to this point. And one of the best parts now is that I get to be so active and play every afternoon with my 5-year-old little Hack. Now, none of this would have been possible without Awaken 180 weight loss. They don't just help you lose weight, they make the impossible possible. We're celebrating this Saturday at Mr. Chubby's Wings in Ponte Vedra Beach for a Florida-Texas watch party. Yes, I will be eating, and yes, I'll be drinking. Both are approved while losing weight with Awaken 180. Now, if you're ready for your own transformation, making the impossible possible, do what we all did and choose the solution for weight loss at awaken180weightloss.com. If they did this for me, they can do it for you too.
Brian Wall here with Window World. You know that awesome feeling when you finally find that one place to go to that will give you a top quality product at a great price and then stand behind what they sell you? That's exactly what Window World does. Top quality, energy-efficient windows at a great price that keeps more of your money in your bank account. With the absolute best guarantee in the window replacement business. That's why Window World has been the #1 window replacement company in the USA for years, selling more than 1 million windows each year for the past 8 years. That's a lot of satisfied customers, and you can be one too. Save money on installing new energy-efficient windows and save on your energy bills too. You can't lose. And if anything goes wrong with your new Window World windows ever, Window World and I will be there to make it right. Call Window World today or see them online and have them come and give you a free estimate and see why we are so proud of our products and the work we do for our customers. Call Window World or go online at windowworldneflorida.com. And thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Now, it's time to showcase the Crown Royals Special Teams Player of the Game. Live generously and life will treat you royally.
Logan Cook whipped up a spectacular showing against Philadelphia. The Jacksonville punter tallied 5 punts for 238 yards, with his longest going for 56 yards. When it comes to the king of punting, Logan Cook is the one who sits on the throne, and he's your Crown Royals special teams player of the game.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On November 4th, 2001, the Arizona Diamondbacks beat the New York Yankees to secure their first World Series title, winning 3-2 in Game 7. When pests invade your space, you don't just need them out, you need them out fast. And you need to keep them out. At Terminix, we show up for you and eliminate pests quicker. Because we care about what matters most to you. When pests show up, so do we. Don't live with a pest problem. Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com. Terminix it.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Slow, and I want to talk to you today about having a grateful spirit. As we journey in life, it's so easy to take things for granted. But I want to encourage you to never get tired of thanking God for your blessings. Take time also to thank the people in your life who have and are helping you to become the person you are today. Don't go through life complaining, go through life praising.
To hear more inspirational messages by Reverend Dr. Nicholas Lowe, please visit our website at stjohnthedivine.com.
This is Dr. Michael Iorio, internal medicine physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Center Mitch Morse has used his veteran experience in the NFL to be an amazing leader so far for this Jaguars team. Yesterday, they once again never gave up to come from behind and put themselves in a position to win the game, although ultimately falling up short with Trevor's end zone interception and Nakobe Dean, they could not pull off the comeback. Here's Mitch Morse on how he feels the Jaguars will bounce back from this one.
Proud to be part of this team, proud to be a part of this group, and we got to own our stuff as professionals, which we will, and it's really tough right now. There's no getting around it. But what you do is you step foot in that building tomorrow morning with intentions of moving the ball forward, no pun intended, right? So we'll just go in there and do the best we can as pros.
I'm Max Fink with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
All right, well, my takeaway is I'm vested, Joe.
Uh-huh.
I'm emotionally invested in this team.
I know you are.
And it's exhausting to see this team week in and week out find new ways to lose ball games. It is. It's troubling to me. Starting slow, finishing even worse. It's tough, bro.
It is. And I feel like anybody who wore the uniform in the teal and black, they want to have something that you're an ambassador. That's who you are. You're out and about. You're seeing the fans, and they want to be able to come up to you and talk about something good, the next generation of good, whatever it might be. And unfortunately, it's not coming through that way. I totally get it. I really do. My takeaway is that, yeah, you get into a first half of stink. You get in a second half of excitement. You come close, only to be turned away again, left at the doorstep. And it's last week it was your defense letting Josh Jacobs and Malik Willis run all over you. this week your defense did a decent job, but still Saquon ran all over you, and Jalen Hurts did as well. But in the end, the offense is not getting the job done. Defense has really been asked to do a hell of a lot more when this offense cannot get it going in the first 30 minutes of these ball games. And, gosh, I know there's got to be a lot of Jaguar fans out there that are thinking the same thing as we are. When is the last time you saw a 60-minute ball game from this bunch?
It's been years.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because we did offense, defense, and special teams. We didn't even talk about the muff punt. Mm-hmm. They gave up 7 right there.
Training camp Trammell.
That's Trammell. Yes, it is.
I was rooting for my man.
I was too until he fumbled that ball. And I don't listen. Why was Parker Washington was starting for the first time in the game, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, was it too much to ask for him to retrieve a punt?
Okay, think about this. I totally agree. I think if you have Parker Washington, and I can't imagine them saying, you know what, we need to protect him there because he's going to be so much of our game plan in the receiving game that we can't afford that. That's BS. Mm-hmm. Let this guy, if he is one of your best players, put him in a position to make plays for you. He just had a hell of a punt return to spark a win, and that was also a game they were down 10-0. In that contest against the bad Patriots, and he sparked them to a win. But think about this, Leon. The last couple of weeks, you had Jari and Jones make a play. You kept Green Bay out of the end zone. Then Trevor throws a pick, turns into quick points. Then Trevor loses the handle on the football, turns into quick points. 14 easy points for the Green Bay Packers, and we all know it came down to a field goal at the end. This game, training camp Trammell, our man, muffs the punt, easy score. Then you go down the line and you turn the ball over again. You give them an easy score. So you have had 2 games where there have been 14 points at a minimum that have come off of either mistakes in the special teams or mistakes by the offense. It can't keep happening.
No, we're not that good. We're not that good to spot teams 14 points or give up a short field.
Yeah.
No, we're not.
When are they and this comes back to, and we love our conversations with Denny Thompson as well, this comes back to just a classic chicken or the egg argument. When we'll sit here, we'll go inside the Southampton clubhouse, sit there and have a cold one, and we'll keep arguing about this. Is it the players not taking pride in it? Is the players not getting coached properly? Is it the actual players themselves? On and on and on. And I love what Denny brought up with you is that you guys set a standard back then. And I just don't know who's supposed to lay the foundation and set the standard. It should be 16.
It should be.
It should be Josh Hines Allen and some of those guys on the other side.
Well, unfortunately, there's cultures of winning and there's cultures of losing.
Yeah.
Both of them are contagious. All right. And right now, this team is what, 3-12 over the last 15 games? It's bad ball being played right now in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's tolerated. I'm not over there. I'm over there with the meetings now, over there in the weight room, the locker room, and all that kind of stuff. But only way this organization is going to change when you start bringing in players who don't tolerate losing.
Yeah.
And you know how you don't tolerate losing? You go out there on Sundays and you execute at a very high level. Right now, this team is not doing that.
I just want to see hunger in their eyes. One of our texters, horrible takes. Johnson quit running. The O-line quit. Blaming 16 is ignorant. Doug is willing to get fired for press. That's the problem. Those are all problems, okay? And look, you could take, like I said when we started our show, you could take 16 off the hook. You could put him on notice. You could be critical of him. You could be complimentary of him. But he shares in this, okay?
That pass didn't throw itself.
Yeah. The best ones go out there and make the plays. I'm not saying this is all his fault, but we are looking for him to be the solution. That's what you're looking for. And I'll give you an example. Yesterday, Miami and Buffalo go back and forth. It was a fun ball game. Back and forth they go. In the end, Josh Allen needed to make enough plays to basically get the win because 2 of them kept coming back down the field, and they kept scoring, kept making it close. Josh Allen made enough plays to ultimately get them to the win. Matt Stafford in Seattle, they're on the ropes. Every single time Geno Smith drives them down the field. And the Rams pick off the ball and basically take it 100 yards for the score. Geno comes right back down the field. They force him into another mistake. The Seahawks come again and tie the ball game. And what does Matt Stafford do? Makes a play. The catch that Robinson made, did you see that bad boy?
Yes.
Holy cow. And so those are the things that win you football games. I don't need to keep track of who to blame and who not to blame. There's just too many people to blame.
Exactly. In this league, you make plays, not excuses.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. You make plays, not excuses.
It is endless. And look, I want to put blame in a bunch of different spots, and I feel like the offseason, as much as I felt like they might have turned a corner with the signings that they had, and Trent Baalke's done a terrible job to this point in terms of giving Doug and whomever else as many resources as possible to go out there and, when you have an injury bug hit you, have an answer for that. And they have not done that.
No, they haven't.
It's just ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
And like I said, I know it's a kick in the shorts for every Jaguar fan out there. We're looking for solutions just like you guys are and trying to figure out what it's going to take. All right, real quick, the A&M loss. We'll get into this tomorrow when we do our XLP to the CFP. After doing what they did at home against LSU, and we knew it was going to be a tough game at night up in Columbia, South Carolina, home of the Cockaboose and Cocky, but come on, you can't get your doors blown off like that.
Yeah, I mean, but listen, this is the time of the season where you separate the pretenders from the contenders.
Yeah,
that kind of game, that kind of environment at night, can't get the doors blown off like that. You can't. It can't happen. But it did happen. South Carolina had an answer for everything that they sent at them.
Right.
They ran the ball. They passed the ball. They got after them defensively. Man, what Matt said it last week. He said Texas A&M, they had had only one loss. They had the best record in the SEC.
They had the best record in the SEC. Yeah.
He said that these next 3 games, he could easily see them losing.
They were unbeaten in conference
play. Yes.
Their lone loss came to Notre Dame.
Yes, absolutely.
And so Mike Elko, like I love calling him the Golden Corral of coaches. I mean, he was all fired up, the Cracker Barrel of coaches. He coached his tail off against LSU and Brian Kelly, but then he goes on the road, and that pass rush from South Carolina is 100% legit.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Elko had gone back and forth between the two quarterbacks, coming into this game, and you thought, okay, they're ready to turn the corner. November is so tough to take control and hang on and do everything right. That's why even Georgia is as much as they were on the ropes against Florida, you have to give them credit for coming up with a 2-score victory.
Yeah.
When it's all said and done. And same thing with your Canes.
Yeah, they were a little concerning. They're a second-half team, though. I was steady. My hand was steady.
Oh, my God.
My hand was steady.
They were down.
They were down 28-17. I was a little nervous, but they answered the bell.
Yeah.
They absolutely answered the bell.
All right, speaking of answering the bell, he's embedded and shredded.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Injury Care Centers, the exclusive provider of BioTarget regenerative therapy for pain. Visit GoBioTarget.com for a location near you.
Our man Hayes Carline, as they are getting ready to come to us from UNF Arena, because we got some basketball, not just ball, Hayes, the leather oblong-shaped ball, but the basketball with the Florida Gators in action tonight in town.
That's right. We're at Veterans Memorial Arena here, the VyStar Memorial Arena, and yeah, we're looking forward to it. Florida versus USF to start the college basketball season, so should be a lot of fun. We'll be joined by Chris Harry to talk Gators hoops, kind of give us a preview of what to expect, and Bucky Brooks will join us to talk Jaguars, all that coming up in the 5 o'clock hour.
All right, looking forward to it for sure. And Todd Golden's bunch ready to pick back up where they left off last year. Now you pick up where the Jags left off. At least give us a quick thought about the way the game finished up for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just another disappointment in what's a lost season. And, now now it's just a question of, what will the draft pick look like? Because at 2-7, they're pretty much done. They're not going to go 7-1 in their final 8 and make a run at this thing. So, just a really disappointing result to a disappointing season, and a lot of ins and outs that I think you can certainly second guess with Doug Peterson and his staff. So it's just been a debacle, and they can't do anything. They're terrible on third down on offense, but they make up for it by being terrible on third down on defense. And there was some positives that came out of the game, but it's just, if it wasn't for see Nick Sirianni being the biggest moron I've ever seen coach a football game, and a gift touchdown from the officials. It would have been another lopsided result, but but they showed some fight, but just a very flawed football team, unfortunately, and. We're until we got eight more of these to watch, and then they'll land the plane and start making repairs.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Flawed football team's a good way to put it. All right, Hayes, enjoy the game down at 5-Star. We will be listening to the Francis Show.
All right, sounds great. Thanks so much.
All right, Hayes Carline, Frank Francis, JJ, they got it cranking as they are down at the Veterans Memorial Arena against South Florida. And I was moving around the location earlier when I was just chatting away, but that should be a good one downtown if you want to go check that out. All right, Big, we are done. Pickles, pass.
The pickles
wings,
were outstanding. Yeah.
Pass. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they were good.
It's all good. Listen, thanks to the Golf Club of Southampton for hosting us. St. Joe's, I'm a proud grad. Appreciate them with their St. Joe's Scholarship Golf Tournament for having us out. We had a good time. And, of course, Mokama Beer Company for bringing you our normal Monday. We'll have Maddie back with us tomorrow. Joe C., Big Search, RJ, take it away.
You lollygag the ball around the end. You lollygag your way down to first.